Hey, what's up everyone? It's Mr. Hunia here for day 6 of our distance learning here for human development. And today is TikTok day, so go ahead for the Spirit Day today. If you got some TikToks that you want to submit, you can submit those for your 2 points for today for our Spirit Day challenges. And I know some of you are wondering, like, well, what if I don't utilize TikTok like that? If you want to, you can also submit a video of you just kind of talking about what you're doing to occupy your time outside of e-learning and just kind of how you're feeling about this whole entire experience. But for today, we are continuing along with decision making, and we're jumping more into the theoretical and psychoanalytical sides of things. You do have some notes today, so go ahead and get those out and we will begin. Just want to let you guys know that there is a small little activity as well as your actual assignment for today. So go ahead and pull those notes out and we will begin. So what we're going to be talking about today is the id, the ego, and the superego. Now these are 3 parts of the psychoanalytical personality theory, and this kind of explains a little bit as to why we make decisions and what kind of leads us into making those decisions. Part of the id, the ego, and the superego is the first part, which is the id. All right, so the id is considered to be the part of you that is impulsive. It's very impulsive, it's selfish, and it's focused on survival. So as you see, I have this picture of Angelica Pickles up here. If you've ever seen the show Rugrats, she is very much an id type of person. She's driven by the id, so to speak. So she is very impulsive. She's focused on getting what she wants, and she's extremely, extremely selfish. So when you're thinking from the standpoint of the id, you're not thinking about, other people's feelings. You're not thinking about how this could affect other people. All you're thinking about is you and what makes you survive or what gives you gratification. Think of this like the devil on the shoulder. You're always thinking about yourself. You don't consider other people's feelings. And at the end of the day, it's all about what you want. Now, the next part of the theory is the ego, and this more along the lines represents you. So the ego is considered to be very decisive, have a sense of reasoning, and then also considers right from wrong. So in the other words, as we had the id, which was more like the devil on the shoulder, the ego is more along the lines of you, what you think, and you're the person that represents the ego in this very simplified scenario. So next we have the superego, which actually represents society's expectations and actually employs shame and guilt. So if you think about the superego is more along the lines of the angel on the shoulder in simplified terms. So when the devil on the shoulder says, do this, do all these things, the id says, do this, do all these things, and you're sitting there considering what's right from wrong. I need to make a decision. The angel on the shoulder may be like, you shouldn't do that, and then make you feel guilty. You shouldn't do that, make you feel shamed. You shouldn't do that. This may hurt someone else's feelings. So at the end of the day, I guess you could say it's all this psychoanalytical internal struggle. So let's take the idea of the id, the ego, and the superego in like swiping somebody's phone. So your ego has to make the decision and choose between right and wrong as to, should I steal this person's phone or should I not steal this person's phone? The id, or the devil on the shoulder, may say something along the lines of like, oh, you could steal their phone because, you really need it. Or, oh, you can steal their phone because, if they start panicking, they'll start freaking out in the middle of class and, it'll be hilarious and people will think you're funny. Or, oh, if you steal their phone, then, you can sell it and make a bunch of money. So as you can see, the idea of stealing the phone isn't just relatable in the standpoint of surviving because of money or because you need it, but also from the standpoint of, people do things that the devil on the shoulder does mainly for survival emotionally, as well as socially and things like that. So getting the laughs out of the class by swiping someone's phone and having them freak out and lose their mind and having the class laugh and get all that attention might be one of those things that someone feels that they need, and having that attention helps give them that little high and survival, so they do it. So let's talk about the idea of what the angel on the shoulder may say. So society's expectations may say that you shouldn't steal. Society's expectations for the most part, want you to be empathetic and think about like, oh, well, what if this person did this to you, and things of that nature. And did society's expectations also have a thing about like, what are the rules that you should be following? You know, those rules being not stealing other people's things. So a lot of times in making those decisions, people often consider, you know, how is this person going to feel about it? So as you can see by this theory, a lot of times people will cave to either the superego or cave to the id, or the id may have, you know, a stronger presence versus the superego based on certain situation. And now we're going to look at that situation from a literary perspective. So this is going to conclude the notes section for today. Now, if you go into Canvas after submitting your notes, you will see an assignment called Odd Rod Poem. So what Odd Rod is he's actually, you know, a spoken word artist. I've seen him a couple of times. He's very, very talented, and he does poems that are based off of his own experiences. And, you know, he paints a very black and white picture. It's not super, super insane, hard to understand and digest. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to a poem by Odd Rod, and we have these 5 questions that are up on screen, and I will hold them on screen while the poem is playing through. And what you're going to do is you're going to answer these 5 questions based off the poem that you hear, and do your best to answer them, and then you're going to submit that into Canvas or take a picture of it and send it to mrhunia@gmail.com. And just to give you a background about the poem itself, the poem is part of like a trilogy where Odd Rod was getting involved with a woman who happened to be in a relationship. And, you know, this is the time of where he's having a little bit of a debate, an internal debate about what he should do. So this is all kind of talking about his thought process in being with this woman.
Things just started to fall apart. We found ourselves in arguments over nothing. And she wasn't even my girl. I wasn't her guy, but we argued like husband and wife, but it was only because we loved each other that much and we knew what we had to do. Oh man, we were dying, and we all know that death comes in threes. She's not my own. And that has been a problem for me. They say that death is such a force that it encounters in threes. So farewell to us. Goodbye to what we thought we could be. And good riddance to us hiding from the folks in the street. Those special features in this movie got me playing it back. She's got a man, and I don't want to have her like that. We be sneaking, we be creeping, keeping secrets and such. And I done tried to pull away, but I be wanting her touch. I get a rush, like children who would play in the sand. Be having dirt around their mouth, but they be hiding their hand. Be having her around my mouth, I get a taste when I can. I like to see her catch amnesia when it comes to her man. But what of him? I've never met this guy in my life. She told me there's no need to worry about the things out of sight. She's not his wife, and he can't figure why she declined. He done tried to kneel and marry her a couple of times, and in my mind, the grass may not be greener with me. Sometimes we rush into a forest headed straight for a tree. Perhaps it's me. Some people go through life without guilt, but I ain't trying to hurt nobody over something they built. So in my quilt, I want to sew a patch that'll stay. Can't expect to hold a woman that I've taken away. And as I'm saying this, she's probably texting me about a day. Texting she can't wait to see me with a smile on her face, and I'd be wrong. This woman, y'all, is not of my own. I could fit us in the mirror, but I can't take her home. And if these kisses weren't so passionate, I'd push her aside. If these feelings weren't so strong, they'd be easy to hide. If she didn't fight to keep me, I'd continue my stride. And if I didn't love her back, it wouldn't hurt me inside. She's not my own. Done messed around and got her a poem. And the strength of my umbrella couldn't weather her storm. So when it's over, she's a folder that I couldn't have filed. Could only place her in the cabinet to visit a while. And she'll be gone, and I'll be back to where I started at first. Thinking, how did I get off and thinking this would've worked? Wasting time playing games that I shouldn't have played, putting pillows in a blanket where she couldn't have stayed, only living off the memories of choices we made. CPR on our future, but we couldn't be saved. She was Barney Rubble's Betty, had me up in his cave. Now, a casket full of secrets I gotta take to the grave. And that death is such a force that giving 3 is a must. Goodbye to me, goodbye to her, and then a farewell to us.
All right, so now that you guys gone through and submitted the Odd Rod poem, we're going to jump into your like little assignment for the day. So the assignment for today, once again, I understand this stuff is like very, very easy because the thing about it is it's about decision making and it's about really you guys being reflective on stuff. So, you know, you guys talking about your experiences or writing about or drawing out what you guys experience, you know, it plays a huge part into this unit. So if it seems easy, it's because, you know, you guys have lived through life and you have your own experiences. So you guys kind of understand how this stuff really applies to your own life. So if you go into Canvas, you will see it as the id, ego, and superego drawing. So for this assignment, consider the decision that a teenager may have to make. For this decision, you are going to create a picture that demonstrates the application of the id, ego, and superego to such of a decision. Draw the picture of a person stuck between the id and the superego based on their decision. List what the id may say and what the superego may say. And then choose what the ego, i.e. the person in the middle, decides and how it positively or negatively impacts them. So once again, this can be based off of a decision you guys have actually made, or this can be based off, you know, a possible decision that you guys think that many teenagers make from a day-to-day basis. So just to give you an idea of what I'm looking for, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a picture right now. So as you can see, there's a drawing of the id and the ego and the superego. The ego is making a decision between what the id and the superego are saying, and then also the ego ends up making a decision listing what negatively or positively affects them. That is going to be the video for today, so go ahead and make sure you get those assignments turned in. Also, don't forget to submit your TikToks for today, or in some cases, just submitting like a little video journal talking about, you know, what you're doing at this time during the social distancing. But continue along with what's going on, and I will continue doing what I need to do, get these lessons out to y'all. Y'all stay safe and have a great day. Bye.